I'm glad to welcome you to the third lesson of the course, How Not to Lose in the Opening Playing a Chess Game. I hope you managed to cope with the homework posted in our Telegram channel group. Way to go! If you have any questions, write in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. I'll also be happy to see everyone in the private club on chess.com and on Instagram. Now let's move on. In the last lesson, we looked at the 3 pillars that underpin an opening. These principles will allow you to navigate through a wide variety of openings. However, there are openings where from the very first moves a concrete game is established and the slightest mistake leads to a loss. These are gambits. You have probably already heard of the King's Gambit, the Evans Gambit, Fegatello attack. In such openings, no matter how you spin it, you need specific knowledge. However, I will allow myself to give you some advice. Do not try to memorize complicated variations of these openings. Mindless memorization will be of little use. It is much more important to understand the idea of this or that move, and individual moves you can then find yourself. Even grandmasters don't know all the opening variants, and yet they are perfectly oriented in unfamiliar openings. Besides, experienced chess players don't play all openings. There are only a few in the repertoire of masters and grandmasters. In our course we will consider different opening systems and your task will be to get an idea of them. You should try to decide which openings you will play. I suggest that you choose one based on your taste, character, and style of play. If you like to attack, are not afraid to sacrifice, to take risks, choose sharp gambits. If you like a quiet game, more like strategic thinking, then the openings should be appropriate. However, as they say, until you try, you don't know. My advice is to study the openings properly. We will devote 1 or more lessons to a particular opening. We'll look at its basic ideas and plans. Your task is to get an idea of the opening, try this opening in practice, play a game. Add more actively to the private chess club on chess.com. The link is in the lesson description and in the channel profile. As we get more members, we will be able to organize tournaments with other students of the course. And after the played game, I advise you to analyze the game and find out your opening mistakes. And then decide whether this opening will be part of your repertoire, or if you want to keep looking for your own. There are about 30 to 40 openings in total. All openings, depending on their type, are divided into 5 groups. The first group is the open games. In them, the game necessarily begins with moves e2, e4, and e7, e5. First of all, it is necessary to learn to play open games, as they are simpler and clearer. That's why we'll start with this group of openings. I'll ask you to write in the comments to the lesson which openings you would like to start with. The second group is semi-open games. Black answers to the move e2, e4, with any move except e7, e5. The third group is closed games. White starts the game with any move except e2, e4. The fourth group, semi-closed games. These are openings, which begin with a move d2, d4, from white's side and any black's answer except d7, d5. And the last group, flank games. This is when white starts with any move except e2, e4, and d2, d4. Often such openings turn into semi-closed and closed games, but more about that later. To make it easier to navigate in this variety of openings, the so-called index classification was invented. Openings are divided into 5 groups, labeled A, B, C, D, E. Each group in turn is divided into 100 subgroups, with indices from 00 to 99. And then each opening is assigned its own range. For example, the Sicilian defense is the range B20, B99. And within that range, there are variations. For example, B22 is my favorite Alapin variation. I think you've already encountered such a designation of openings. In this lesson, we learned how to approach the choice of opening repertoire. What openings actually exist, based on their types. How the indexical opening classification works. To consolidate your knowledge, I suggest you do your homework. There is a guessing game waiting for you. The homework, as you already know, can be found in the Telegram channel by following the link in the channel description. I wish you good luck and see you at the next lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel not to miss the release of the new lesson.